Okay, so we have a failure of international law here. That should be fairly obvious. What do I mean by that? What I mean is we have a genocide occurring in Palestine. Canada is complicit. Washington is complicit. There's no way the Zionists could do this alone. They're using billions from Washington, including weapons and bombs and weapons from Canada too. Okay, so that's a failure of international law. It does not work. International law is supposed to protect genocide. We have ongoing support for Al Qaeda, ISIS, jihadis, which has been decades. The West has supported them. This should not be happening. It's all covert, and it is happening, and the crowning uh, the crowning evidence of this is that now we have Al Qaeda, HTS fronting as a government in Syria. That is an obscenity, okay? But the West supports it, and they're going to spin narratives trying to say how he's reformed or whatever. That's totally irrelevant. He hasn't. They're committing genocide there too. So now we see how empire corrupts institutions that were placed there after the Second World War to curtail uh the permanent warfare
Right.
and to try to regulate world affairs where sovereign nations of an empire that is basically a world dictator at the moment. So I
Right.
think people should be aware of that, and we should continue to look for examples of corruption at the global scale, at the United Nations, at International Criminal Court, and so on. This is how they do it. This is one way in which they do it. Sanctions, which they impose illegally. And there's parallels to Syria. They impose unilateral coercive measures against Syria to destroy the country to help Al Qaeda. Okay. Now they're doing it in these international bodies that are ostensibly trying to pursue international justice.
Right. You think it's connected to the Greater Israel project you once mentioned to me?
Well, already Israel it's very clear they're trying to get rid of all the Palestinians. I mean, they're not even making a secret of it. But possibly Washington is going to subvert that plan. Prof. Chasudowski wrote an article about this. Possibly Washington will try to take over some of that land and those resources, which will impinge upon the greater Israeli plan somewhat. But there's still a synchronicity between Washington's plans for global hegemony, global conquest, basically under the guise of this fake war on terror, and the Zionist project. And also, the Zionists have too much influence on Washington foreign policy and so on. But the Washington plans for global conquest, global hegemony have been outlined clearly by the Wolfowitz Doctrine. We did a show on the Vision 2020, I think they called it, global hegemony. Also, PNAC, and the Project for a New American Century. And we see how this has been unraveling after the 9/11 false flag.
Right.
So the war on terror is another fake pretext, a camouflage for world conquest. Every place that there's a prey country, you will find Al Qaeda, ISIS, related jihadis. Those are assets. That's a military intelligence operation. Those are Western assets. And Syria is a perfect example. It's even the ostensible head of the government. It's like an obscenity. He's Al Qaeda, HTS Al Qaeda.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Uh,
the Western people are being played. They're being fooled, and it's really a detriment to everyone, to the world
right.
economy, to humanity. And it's important that people wake up to realities here and stop pretending.
Yeah. They are not just played by the US government, but also played by the Israeli government.
Yes, of course. Yes. And
Yeah.
the Zionist lobby is far too strong in the States. In the States, and elsewhere, money governs these politicians. Okay, there's super PACs and so on. There's lobbies. There's APAC, and they funnel massive amounts of money into politicians' pockets, and the politicians become puppets for these interests, these special interests. Okay, and it's not democracy. That's not democracy.